Last year, Book.io applied for a grant to bring a top 5 book publisher to the Cardano blockchain. This grant was approved by the community, and 1 year later, we still don't know who this top 5 publisher is. Is all hope lost? No, not at all. There were actually some recent developments, and that's what I want to talk about today. Let's get onto it. This is the main page of Catalyst, the innovation grant program of Cardano. And last year they got approved for 2 million ADA. At the time, they had calculated like 30 cents per ADA, so more or less today's price, so $600,000, more or less. And you can see something here very interesting. The first batch of ADA has been distributed, 60,000. Remaining quite a lot. And this was last month. They got the first down payment. So we're going to get into the details, but what I want to focus on just right now is we do have a timeline here. So all of these are milestones. This is a project, and while Book.io is delivering on those milestones, they unlock the next down payment until the end. And on this timeline, you can see actually dates, at least projected dates. January, beginning of this year, when they got the first 60,000 ADA. Then we have April, May, June, July, and August. August as a final milestone. What that means is that if everything goes according to plan, in August we have a top 5 publisher. It's 6 months from now, or even less. So it looks like it's going to happen this year. Finally. So it's very positive news to see that finally this is kind of unlocked. It's moving forward. We've been kept in the dark a long time. We had just heard that they hired a consultant to document those Catalyst milestones and focus on this grant. And it looks like it's finally paying off. Now we're going to get into the details of those milestones. It's super well made. Actually, I love Catalyst for that. Everything is documented. You get your payment as much as you deliver. Yeah. If we go to the first milestone, we can see it's here. So the milestone is for 75,000 ADA. They got 60,000, so they're not there yet. It's not complete. But what was this first milestone? We're going to look at the milestone outputs for each of them, so you get an idea of what to expect. Dedicated Catalyst wallet and funding record. So showing milestone 1 disbursement amount 80% of 75,000 ADA. So that's the 60,000 they got. They created a wallet. Yay. It's pretty expensive technical delivery. All right, reserved for rights acquisition. Yeah, so this is really important. All the money they get is not for them. It's exclusively to pay the publisher to buy those licensing rights. So that's done. Then Onyx ingestion database tables and configuration setup. Here some quick background. Onyx is let's call it a format or a standard used in the publishing industry. That's the way the big enterprises communicate. You can download ebooks and you have all the metadata, who's the author, what is the genre, what is the ebook format, which language, and so on. This means that they need to set up the Onyx database to communicate with the Onyx database of the top 5 publisher. With that, they do some validation and mapping compatibility package. So just some checks to make sure all is fine. And the most interesting of this milestone number 1, a project progress page with milestone tracking, community communication sections, and summary of existing Onyx ingestion capabilities and readiness for post-acquisition catalog integration. Well, that's a mouthful. In a nutshell, a progress page accessible to anyone to see how they are doing. So, okay, we can look here in Catalyst, but Book will have their own page where everyone can check what's up. So that's the first milestone. they are progressing through it. Doesn't strike me as super hard to do. I think Pez, the automation engineer of Book, was working on this Onyx database for a while. So hopefully we are fairly close. It was supposed to be completed in January, and we are in March, and 80% of the payment has been done. So okay, this is what we should look forward to, this progress page. So we have transparency, we know what's up, how they are progressing. Now, I'm gonna go through all the milestones, so it's gonna be maybe a bit of a lengthy video as usual, but at least we know what we can expect. Milestone 2, major rights acquisition, fund accumulation, and platform testing. So hey, milestone outputs, showing we got the money, wow. Onyx ingestion test that dataset for 10 to 20 sample titles. So here they're gonna ingest from, I assume, this Big 5 publisher, but since it's an enterprise standard, I guess they could use any other publisher they are working with to show that they can download rather 10 to 20 ebooks or audiobooks to show that this works. With populating the metadata tables, make sure that we have everything, including pricing and rights fields. A bit curious about that, because I guess they get the rights for a certain period of time, maybe, to sell everything. Not sure. Or maybe it's a question of royalties. Maybe there's a Big 5 publisher and they have subsidiaries or something like this. Not sure. Ingestion performance log. This is important. Is basically to say, hey, we downloaded 20 samples. How long did it take? Did we download everything correctly? And if not, what happened? Operational reporting framework environment. Configured using existing Book.io titles and tracking 5 or more per title metrics as a hub for the proposals promised milestone and quarterly performance reporting. So here what we need to remember is this quarterly performance reporting. So we'll see how much they are selling, because let's back up a little bit. When they made that proposal, probably end of 2024, I guess, or early 2025, the whole idea was, hey, we're gonna bring a top 5 publisher to Cardano, and we have 60,000 ebooks. So if they sell, 100 of each, that's 6 million titles, so 6 million transactions on Cardano. So a lot of fees going back into the treasury. Hence the importance of looking at the volumes. Since then, they decided to do their own layer 2, so I'm not sure how many millions of transactions will settle on Cardano, but I appreciate the transparency of seeing how much they are, ingesting or selling. Community education program curriculum outline. So this basically we want to do a PDF. You can see it here in the evidence of milestone completion. A PDF showing which modules, topics, formats, objectives, and the documentation structure. The idea is that it's not only about acquiring the rights and having the books, it's also about marketing them and educating people about how that works. Because this is a completely new technology, especially for people outside of Cardano, and you can imagine people outside blockchain. Delivery month, April 2026. So at this stage, we should see that, okay, they can ingest books, and these are their plans to do some education about their technology. Education, I was talking outside the crypto bubble, but some of those people may very well be other publishers. We know that it's a domino effect. We get one and then the others follow. Actually, they've been talking with all of them, I believe, so shouldn't be too far out once all of this is delivered. So in April, we see, okay, technology works, they can ingest, and okay, they have some plans for educations. Milestone 3, they complete the publisher rights acquisition and the catalog access is secured. So what does it mean? So initial publisher rights acquisition payment package securing exclusive catalog access for Cardano. Oh. Well, I didn't think about it at the beginning. Like I thought, it was multi-chain, that so maybe they would sell everywhere, but interesting. I mean, happy to see that they're gonna stick to Cardano, or the L2 settling on Cardano, I assume. So catalog access rights package including redacted rights document with sensitive commercial terms removed, but enough visible information for reviewers to verify authenticity. Publisher name. So when is that? This is May? May. In May we should know who it is. Maybe we'll know before when they'll do this ingestion. We'll see, okay, which titles are those, who owns them. Maybe we'll know already, but looks like in May, the Catalyst reviewers will see the actual contract. Redacted, a la Epstein files, I would say, but still, it will be inked. Yeah, at this time, it will be really official. Funding breakdown report criteria includes allocations across licensing, IP acquisition, platform enhancements, community activation, all right. Onyx title page set displaying ingested metadata. So actual Onyx ingestion through live user-facing pages on book.io. So previous milestones, we would see a demo from the developers basically of book.io showing you, hey, this is a database, these are the things moving around that we ingest. In May, we get, hey, you're a user, you access it, you can look right on the book.io page how it works. So more transparency. I'm also curious if the idea is to mint books on demand, that we would get all the pages of all those 60,000 ebooks, and just click buy, it ingests live from this Onyx database, puts everything together and sells you the book. I wonder if it's going to be something like this. End-to-end ingestion to display workflow validation. Yep. So here we go from 10 to 20 controlled test titles, and public ecosystem dashboard displaying 10 or more key adoption and activity metrics. What is a public ecosystem dashboard? In adoption activity metrics, so how much they sell, but my understanding is that they're not selling yet all those books, so it's the other things they are selling. I'm a bit confused here. I'm gonna look at the evidence of milestone completion because that's sometimes interesting. Okay, so here, publisher invoice, payment receipt. Okay, rights document, agreement confirming exclusive Cardano licensing rights, 60,000 titles for selective minting deployment. Well, maybe that's what I just talked about. Okay. PDF report detailing allocations across licensing, IP acquisition, rendered title page evidence, screenshots of or live URLs for 10 to 20 control test titles, rendered into user-facing pages. Okay, so when we go on book.io and we go buy a book, maybe you can just check that right now. Let's take this one. So it's this page that they'll be able to create on the fly, downloading from Onyx. That's what I understand. So getting the metadata like the title, who wrote it, the pricing, maybe there is some description and things like this. All right, so that's May. Ingestion to display validation, so screenshots here to show that it works. Okay, public dashboard, so live dashboard URL, so again accessible to anyone. So we're gonna go from a progress page at milestone 1 to an actual dashboard with more metrics visible in May. And we see the progress page URL is still there actually, and it will house all related evidence, links and documents. So don't just verify, you can do it yourself. So May looks like it's still more admin kind of stuff. Milestone 4, selective minting launch and community activation. Now we're talking. Major partnership press release package. When is this? June. So buy stuff tokens before June. Not financial advice. But the June major partnership press release package, and this is gonna be huge. Doesn't matter which big five publisher it is. They all have a lot of books. They are all known. They are all heavy punchers in the book industry. It's gonna be huge. Like industry-wide, it's gonna be huge, and they're gonna say that we sell. It's a revolution. Ebooks that people own, that are like physical books that they can sell, and authors have direct access to their people, not Amazon. Is no gatekeeping. So that's gonna be huge in the industry world. For normal readers, I'm not sure yet. Okay. Catalog integration framework, selective minting deployment set, 510 publisher titles deployed and available for minting on Cardano. Okay. Outreach and education program package, 5 webinars delivered and at least 10 documentation pieces, guides, FAQs, tutorials published. I feel like they start doing that kind of. Recently, they started doing one webinar per week with authors or musicians or movie directors to let them know about how to self-publish on bookandstuff.io. So I see that there was also a YouTube video recently about how to buy in simple mode on stuff.io. So it looks like they start preparing for that. Newsletter and podcast communication. That's newsletter and weekly podcast we already do. Marketing campaign documentation, promotional campaigns for each deployed title. Executed using the book.io title marketing campaign template. What is this? Okay, so here we know what's coming. So these are for those big 5 publisher titles. Pre-launch 1 to 2 weeks before mint, blog posts, Twitter, newsletter, visual assets created, cross-promotion prepared with related catalog titles. This can be pretty cool. Like, I don't know, they did some sci-fi thing and hey, you have this one now. Or hey, you had this offer doing this, now they do that. So that makes sense. Launch week. Announcement on social channels, newsletter, offer, collaboration, endorsement or quote if available. That can be powerful because if you talk about a big 5 publisher, they have huge offers. And if an offer comes in saying, hey, I'm doing my first week on book.io, you really own it, you can sell it, and we get this direct connection, that can be huge. Optional press release for tier 1 title, optional review or mention in stuff.io podcast, Post-launch, track mint performance and scale promotion as needed. That's kind of a new thing. Before I would just announce it and then just move to the next one. Here looks like there may be different campaigns per title. Ongoing social posts, cross-promote with related titles, monthly newsletter roundup. And you have different intensities, so high profile, celebrity bestseller. Just pause. I know I'm 18 minutes in that video and it's quite thorough, but here, if I can get your attention, we are talking about a big 5 publisher. They have those huge offers that everyone knows. This is gonna happen. Once they sign everything and they demonstrate they can do it, then it's happening. We get all those famous people. So high profile celebrity bestseller, everything as above, plus press release, industry coverage pitch, X space or podcast with offer or book.io leadership. Will all offers be willing to be on podcast? Maybe not. But that would be really cool if we get a really big one. I don't know. I won't say Stephen King because he's the one who comes first to mind, but it doesn't strike me as a guy who would do this kind of stuff for some reason. But anyone else who's very famous getting on a podcast and talking about the book and the technology and the collaboration, these are gonna give even more credibility to book.io. Not only big 5 publisher, because do people really know about those big 5s? I'm not convinced. But if you tell them, hey, your favorite author is selling like collector edition of their book on book.io, and look, they're doing a podcast, it's official. Now we are talking. Okay, tier 2 for popular established offer. So, okay, same standard stuff plus offer cross promotion, and catalog or niche, just the bare minimum. Success metrics. And hopefully this will be on the public dashboard. Social media reach and engagement, impressions, click-through rate, newsletter opens and click-throughs, click-through conversion rate on main page. Ooh, that's very sensitive, but very good, because I think they have probably thousands or dozens of thousands of people subscribe to the newsletter. So if we know how many actually are turned into buyers, it's quite powerful data. New Cardano wallets created via Mint. That's good for Cardano. Offer publisher participation and satisfaction. Yeah, good to get feedback from parties interested. Community engagement mentions forum activity. Forum? Reddit? Discord? Not sure. All right, so they do have a plan already. High level plan for marketing campaigns. Then first monthly impact report. Okay, and payment logs. Payments that occurred after last verified and approved evidence. Okay, but that's just to say we got the money. I see an impact report template. Let's look into that too. So what can we expect to see after the first month of putting out the first titles? Yeah, because that's what they do. Yeah, so this is June, right? Yep, this is June. In June, they're gonna deploy the first titles available for real to buy, and they're gonna do 1 month later this impact report template to see how they are progressing. Total assets minted, new users onboarded, very good. New Cardano wallets created, yep. Transaction volume, community growth, transaction volumes and active users, okay. Titles minted, total transactions, active users, repeat purchase rates. Yeah, do people stay? So did we capture them, or did they just try and were not convinced? That's good information. On-chain media assets, new titles deployed, total assets minted, policy IDs, secondary market activity, if applicable, engagement and education, webinars, documentation, newsletter subscribers, number plus growth, podcast episodes released, community retention, repeat logins, wallet engagement. Yep, very important. I'm super surprised everything that they're gonna share. Like, will this be available to everyone? I mean, some stuff is on chain, so we can check, but some of the stuff seems quite private in a sense. They share it only with Catalyst, and it's enough to convince them to do the next payments, then awesome. But if that's public, that's super good information. Like, which startup can you judge, in the crypto industry with this level of transparency? So yeah, good stuff there. Partnership expansion and ecosystem growth, new publisher inquiries, incoming inquiries, I hope, active negotiations. Wow, it's like we see everything. Cardano project collaborations, well, developer ecosystem opportunities, new tools, marketplaces or integrations launched by Cardano developers linked to book.io activity. Yeah, shout out to Book Explorer, Bex. So yeah, it's possible, since everything is on the blockchain, to build your own tools on top of book.io. So yeah, curious to see what's gonna happen there. Marketplaces. I know with NMaker you can create your own kind of white label marketplace. I think Anvil, wayup.io is doing something similar. So maybe people will just create their own marketplaces with maybe a specific genre, or maybe a better way to look through the covers or something like that. More rarity about the books. Interesting. Financial transparency, publisher rights investment, technical enhancement spending, marketing community investment, operational costs, remaining fund balance, and appendix, transaction logs, screenshots of dashboards, evidence links. This report fulfills the reporting commitment. Okay. But I still don't know, is it for everyone or is it just for the reviewers? Okay. No, it should be uploaded to the progress page. Progress page, which I understand should be public. So wow, we're gonna see a lot of what's happening, and it's a bit scary in a sense, because let's face it, currently they don't sell that much, maybe 200 books, like a couple of hundreds every week, and it's the same community just getting back at it for like $3 per book, so not a huge income or revenue. So I'm really curious how it's gonna look there. Like, is it gonna be, hey, we have a big five, we did a press release, and the floodgates are open, or is it, hey, you know what, it's still the same 200 people on Discord buying those, and no, which impact can it have on maybe future publishers who may look at it, or people who would want to associate with Book.io? It sounds a bit like a double-edged sword in a sense. But here, what we need to remember is that June, we get actual books from the big five on Cardano. So June, 3 months from now, if all goes well. I'm not super optimistic. I mean, I'm very optimistic. Everything's gonna happen. I'm not optimistic about the timelines, because so much is going on. They have this other deal they're working on at the moment in Nashville, and there's still the music side and the movie side to take care of. Launch stuff was also something that was supposed to happen. It looks like they're doing so many things. That's why I'm optimistic they're gonna get there, not just optimistic on the timeline. But hey, let's see how it's gonna look like. Milestone 5, the penultimate one. Here, community education expansion and scaling preparation. So technical performance assessment report, okay, how they've been doing. Workshop and event series materials. 4 hands-on onboarding workshops/events, including live demos, community testimonials, platform walkthroughs, or project updates deployed to specific new user and Cardano community audiences per Milestone 2 curriculum plan. Hands-on onboarding workshops, that can be pretty cool. Maybe they're gonna use conferences like Rare Evo and so on to do them, or maybe their own convention. Hands up if you were at the BookCon 2024. Okay, expanded selective minting set. Okay, they put more books from this publisher to buy. Cross-project collaboration. 2 collaboration activities such as AMAs, joint panels, X-Spaces, or co-marketing engagement with Cardano ecosystem partners. They have 2. I mean, this sounds like they already have those partners in mind. There were some talks, like very rumor type of talks, more like conspiracy theory almost, that well, there is Yagon for storage on Cardano, and we know that the Stuff Layer 2 blockchain will need storage. I mean, will give the ability to people to provide storage for all the content that will be minted. Well, here we're talking about 60,000 ebooks, but you have to think about the self-publishing portal that will get more and more content. So I wonder if Yagon is one of them. And I don't know who could be the other one. Maybe Maker for the minting side? Not sure. Marketing campaign records, promotional activities for deployed titles, and tracking engagement metrics. Second monthly impact report, sorry, and payments log. All right, what are they delivering here? Okay, a report file for the performance. Okay, workshop event archive, selective meeting proof, on chain. Yep, collaboration activity documentation. So yeah, everything they did, AMAs, blah blah blah. Marketing campaign PDFs, impact report, transaction documentation package. Again, publisher invoice, payment receipts, and so on. And still the progress page URL there for everyone to see. So this is July. July, basically, we are checking that the tech is good, we can scale, and we put a few more titles from the publisher. And then finally, final milestone, full catalog availability, and project impact documentation. So here we are, August, right? Yep, August 2026, if all goes well. Project closeout report, okay, everything they did, blah, blah, blah. Summary video, sure, easier to digest than reading a report. Selective minting collection, deployment of 15 to 20 publisher titles. This minting may rely on the publisher's release schedule. Okay, didn't think about that. That, hey, they have 60,000 ebooks, but hey, they keep on publishing. So it would be really cool if there was a big release, like a famous author coming up this year, and it could be on book.io at the same time, or even before. Or some collectible edition just on book.io. Didn't think about it. I just looked at the current inventory, but there's also what's coming. And there may be books that are anticipated by their communities. Interesting. Final marketing campaign records, all right. Third impact report, full catalog availability confirmation. Okay. Technical confirmation that the 60,000 title catalog is fully ingested, integrated, and available for on-demand minting on Cardano. Titles minted by users, not pre-minted. We have the answer. Crazy. All the technology behind this. That, okay, you connect this Onyx database from the publisher, you import in your own Onyx database, you make that into a decentralized encrypted asset, then you generate the selling page. I mean, it was already there, I suppose. Not sure how that works. But anyway, the page is created automatically using the metadata from the Onyx database, and then you can buy, and then you can read, and sell, and gift, and trade, and so on. So it's quite the life cycle. And payments log. I want to see the evidence. Okay, report, PDF, video, on-chain transactions, screenshots for the last means, marketing campaign PDFs, impact report. Oh yeah, so full catalog availability demonstration, recorded technical demo or equivalent, recorded back-end validation. SQL title counts should match catalog size or document any differences, such as duplicate editions. Title counts displayed from the SQL database, evidence of complete Onyx ingestion, live spot checks or searchable queries, demonstrating random title availability, a complete end-to-end test transaction, selecting random title, triggering the mint, displaying the resulting policy ID, or transaction hash to prove the integration is active. Transaction documentation package, yep, the last thing to pay, and page URL. And here we are, August. We have everything available to mint. Wow, that was quite the journey. What we need to remember here basically is that it has started. What happened is that we can see it here on top. They made a change request in December, probably because they couldn't move forward for whatever reason. And they kind of restarted the whole process. So 1 month later, in January, they got their first funds distributed, 60,000 ADA. And now we have this timeline to go through until we get to the completion of the project. What's very important is that apparently we'll have some publicly available progress page to see how they're doing technically. There'll be some impact reports. I'm not sure if it will be for everyone. Yeah, I think so. They said they would link it in the progress page. So impact reports are extremely detailed, and we're gonna see, is this a good investment or not? And this is really mind-blowing to me. Like, you know, the token is horrendous. Like the price activity is terrible for people who bought the top. If you buy now, it's fantastic. But and then you're gonna have a report telling you, hey, we sold that many, and hey, this is how much money we needed for operational cost. So you're gonna see the financial health of the company in a sense. And it's really like, if it's bad, you may think, well, they have billionaires, backing them up, so they're safe. But what if it's good? And actually, all those webinars they do, all those spaces with famous authors, what if it catches on and they make actually a good revenue? And then you look at the token that is like 0.00096, I think, USD, and you're like, wow, but this company is printing, like they're making money, making bank, and once they have the L2 and there is this token buyback and burn, you will be able already to project. Like, I don't know, let's say it goes fairly well and they sell like, they have those 10 titles, I think in May or June, something like this, and they sell 10,000 copies. And then you're like, okay, that's 10,000 transactions, and that's a buyback of, I don't know, X $1,000 of token or something like this. And it's just with 10 titles. So what when they have 60,000? So I feel like this year is really the turning point. And this is just this big 5 publisher. There is this other deal they're working on right now in Nashville. And that's the one that will have a direct impact on their 2026 goals, whether they can scale and accelerate, or if they need to, I assume, take a more cautious approach. So kind of crazy to think what's going to happen this year. I know, I don't know how to say that, but BookCon was the peak. Then 1 week later, the token price was divided by 2, and slowly, gradually, we lost a lot of people in the community, or I would say crypto in general, lost some focus, some attention, and so we have somehow really at the lowest point in a sense. So it makes it hard to believe, but when you look at this objectively, I mean, they have the tech, they have the funding. This catalyst proposal finally kicked in. There is a timeline. Hopefully we can respect it. So if we do get in August and we have a big 5 publisher, then book.io is like any other bookstore. Of course, they will need to have a very good reading app, and probably a bit of a better experience on the website, like creating an account and navigating, things like this. So it's not only having the catalog that matters, there are some things around it, but it's not things that they cannot do. They were the founders of Bookshout before, 6 million users. So it was a classic Web 2 reading app, ebook store. So they could do it. Now they're just going to do it again crypto style, and giving back ownership. And it sounds like this gap, from here to there is so huge that it may seem unrealistic. But when you, step back and look at where they have the money, they have the history with Bookshout, they managed to do it in the past. They have some of the brightest developers in the blockchain world, including Charles Hoskinson as an investor. They have all the cards to make it happen. I really don't see why it wouldn't. And the beauty of it all is that bear market, bull market doesn't matter. They have the funding, they're just gonna do it. And then it's Web2 people. People always buy books. No, they don't care that, it's the war in Iran. It's terrible, it's very sad. And I hope it de-escalates as soon as possible. But it's not because there is war somewhere that, I'm not buying books anymore, I'm not consuming media anymore. So they are creating a platform that is backed by blockchain, backed by or powered up with a token, but there's no cycle. There's just market shares. and growing because they're giving consumers things that no one else is giving them. And this year looks like it's gonna get very serious. And it's amazing because since the Gutenberg mint in July 2022, I think it's been, wow, almost 4 years that we've been there. All right, I will end with that. It was quite a long video, but I wanted to let you know that Catalyst is alive. Everything points to it happening this year. Ideally in August we're done, with a lot of transparency along the way, so we'll be able to check if they're actually making it. So yeah, just enjoy the ride as usual. So thank you very much for watching. Next video about the goals, I hope, and maybe this big deal they are signing with someone that apparently we are not excited enough for. So yeah, I'll see you soon, I hope. Until then, thank you as always very much for watching. Take care and see you next time.